want to go back to Highway 93, drug traffic, human traffic, illegal immigration. Tell me your positions on all of that again.
Sure. So we know that drugs, human trafficking, and illegal immigration are moving up and down that highway. Um, and so my plan is to work with the sheriff's department, establish the resources that they need to make that a very, very difficult, if not impossible, place for the cartels to conduct their business of drugs, human trafficking, and illegal immigration. That's why I believe that the sheriff is supporting my campaign. And I just think it's a common sense thing to do. It's the right thing to do. We got to do it. And so that's what I'm really committed to doing, making sure they have the right resources.
Straightforward. um, Illegal immigration in ag here. I don't know if the county, uh, at the county level, if you guys deal with that at all, or if that's part of the gig. I don't know. You
Yeah,
tell
I mean,
me.
from a policy standpoint, I don't think so, but definitely there's certainly interactions with the illegal immigration trade and human trafficking and drugs, obviously through law enforcement.
Hmm.
And again, I have stories from my friends in law enforcement who have seen and experienced a bust that included a lot of people without any identification in a house or in a safe house, or whatever you want to call it, more than the normal occupancy rate, if you know what I mean, and there are a lot of
And
sketchy
it wasn't
stuff
a
going on.
hotel.
It was not a hotel, no, or an Airbnb for that matter. Yeah, yeah. So certainly a lot of sketchy stuff. We know it's here, and we've got to do what we need to do to what we need to uphold the law. Basically, is what we need to do. That's
Yes, we
that's
do.
the way we've got to do it, and it is not fair for any segment of employers to say, well, we're going to skirt the law by bringing these folks in, and then all the traffic accidents and the fatalities that happen. Anybody's kid who's or wife or daughter who's a victim of crime so that somebody can have cheap labor. No, you can't do that, man. You can't do that. You got to do it the right way. We are a community. We have to look out for each other. It can't be, well, this is my business and screw the rest of you guys. No, that's not the way we do things here. Not in Idaho, not in America. We're not supposed to. And so, you know, if we have a stepped up law enforcement presence, well, then I expect there to be, the results. Obviously, as we roll up the drugs, we better be rolling up. I'm sure we're going to be rolling up some human trafficking. I mean, that's the modern slavery of our day, you know?
How do we control? It seems like property taxes have grown out of control, especially for, you know, I'm 64 years old, and not that I've had this house for, 30 years, but there's a lot of folks that are my age that have had their house, they've owned the house for 30, 40, 50 years or more. The house is long paid off. Why are we still, number one, paying property taxes after that long? And do you have a plan that would lower property taxes or make it more manageable for regular people like me?
Right. So the property tax, and I'm not here as a property tax expert, but I will say that obviously if I win, I will, become an expert at it. But I have studied it, to an extent because I know that's usually top of mind for people. I go back to the budget, well, let me back up. So the state has a lot of say in how the property taxes are set up and established. For example, that this it was the state that put the 3% cap on it, right? And then they handed it down, and the counties worked on that or had to use that framework. So the state establishes the framework. So that's those questions are certainly going to be debated probably this next year, I'm sure, in the
Mm-hmm.
legislature. So those are really important. That's why you got to vote for Clint Hosteller, Glenita, and William Mostoller if you're in 24. You got to vote for Josh Cole. Got to vote for David Levitt and Andrew Messer if you're in District 25.
we have to keep we have to keep conservatives getting voted. I don't know how to stress this enough. You get one Brent Rinke or Alex Caval in with their liberal big government attitudes, and you can ruin everything that we've done, both in the Second Amendment and everything else that we've been fighting for in Idaho. And we will, I guarantee you, we will be going down that road of being California.
Yeah, that's right. And really the threat is real. That's not hyperbole. Everything you say is exactly right. One of the questions that or one of the things we talk about in these different campaigns is what if you think about it, what makes a red state turn blue? And anybody who's a California transplant, or even probably Washington, maybe even Oregon for that matter, but certainly California, the flagship, what makes a red state turn blue? Illegal immigration that's out of control and budgets that are out of control. And you look at California, what is it? Clint Hosteller talks about it's 30 billion. I mean, it's crazy amount of money that California spends on illegal immigration. But our budget, which is obviously a lot smaller than California's budget,
Mm-hmm.
we're spending taxpayers, people in Idaho listening to this right now, watching this right now, $400 million a year. It's interesting. Like, imagine what we could do with that $400 million. That could be a lot of tax refunds to people.
Oh,
That could maybe
yeah.
be some more water recharge, type of programs or new dams or something. I mean, there's things that would be a lot better for that than to just give to illegals, which we're all led to believe, oh, it's cheap labor. I doubt that. At
And anything else?
One of the things that people are concerned, or that a lot of times people, I've received a phone call today actually from a voter, um, and they asked about the third crossing, the bridge crossing, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's a big project, right? And I support the bridge to be the third crossing to be on Highway 93. If you think about it, when you come up out of Jackpot and you come in past Filer, and then it curves over into Pole Line Road. Well, instead of curving in the Pole Line Road,
Straight
it
through.
would go straight through. I mean, I just think the benefits of that are just amazing. First of all, I shop at Costco. My church is on that side of town. I try to avoid that whole intersection of Blue Lakes and Pole Line as much as I
Like the
can.
plague.
Yeah, and then In and Out's gonna go in. Holy crap, what are we
Oh,
gonna do
yeah.
then, right? So every time I see a semi on there, and just like everybody in Twin Falls who's watching, I'm racing the semis to see if I can get to the dang turn lane before they do, right?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah.
So, but every time I see that, I think, gosh, we need that third crossing. We need that third crossing. Well, another reason why I'm running as well is because talk about heavy lifts and big projects. I guess I'm a sucker for those. Um, yeah, some of the folks who've been in office are like, they told me just recently, well, we're hoping in our lifetime there might be a third crossing, or
But they had the opportunity to do that, and they looked at it, and they had the plans 25 years ago. And if, if they started today, if they okayed it tomorrow, you're looking at a 10 to 20-year project. And what I heard was the reason they didn't want to do it is they didn't want to do eminent domain. Well, that is the perfect, that is the ideal situation where you do eminent domain. It's, you're not trying to make a new city hall or something. You're doing a vital project that has to get done.
agreed. Eminent domains is a tricky, it's a sticky subject, obviously. But to your point, yeah, it's one thing to do eminent domain a neighborhood and put up some stupid new government building. That's dumb. But here's what's exciting when you think about that land up there is it's very valuable. I mean, I would think that you could imagine the commercial opportunities through there. You're talking warehousing spaces that could go in there. You're talking industrial, light industrial. You're talking retail. I mean, the possibilities are endless
Oh, they are.
through there. In addition to taking away the headache and the beating up our roads with the semis coming through town.
All right, Creighton, thank you.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it is. It has been enlightening. I am. I am glad that somebody's taken Brent Ranke's spot on the commission.